Have you ever seen this face before? Her name is Aphra Behn, and she was a 17th century playwright and poet from Canterbury. She was one of the first professional female writers, and many say she's been unfairly overshadowed by male writers from Canterbury like Chaucer and Christopher Marlowe. To fix this, campaigners are calling for a statue of Aphra to be erected in the city, and I think it's fair to say that you're one of those campaigners, aren't you, Charlotte? So why don't you tell us a little bit about Aphra Behn and why you think she deserves a statue in the city?
Oh, Aphra Behn is amazing. She was born in 1640, just outside of Canterbury in Harbledown, and she became Britain's or the first professional female writer in English. She is, in a way, the grandmother of English literature. She wrote plays, poems. Some people say she wrote the world's first novel in Orinoco, which is about a slave's torture in Suriname, and she brought the images and writing about his torture back to a white British public, and it became part of the movement that has been going ever since. She is an incredibly important writer.
She was a spy as well, wasn't she?
Oh yes, she spied for Charles II, she spied on the Dutch, went out to Antwerp, possibly was spying in Suriname. She did so much, and yet her legacy has been obscured by 200 years of mostly men not wanting their wives to read her.
Okay, I love the quote from Virginia Woolf in A Room of One's Own. She says, "All women together ought to let flowers fall upon the tomb of Aphra Behn, for it was she who earned them the right to speak their minds," which I know you and I are enjoying today. Charlotte, is this about Aphra Behn, or is this a wider question about the fact that there are far fewer statues of women than men in our country?
It's both. There are pitifully few statues of non-royal women anywhere. And of non-royal black women, hardly any at all. There's a whole ream of forgotten people from history that can be addressed. It's not about rewriting history, it's sort of about restoring history and looking with a new lens and putting up people who have stood the test of time and really are inspirational then and now.
Damian, what do you think of Charlotte's argument about Aphra Behn? Has she won you over? Would you applaud a statue?
I didn't need winning over. I completely agree with her. I think it's a very good campaign. I hope it succeeds. And I'm a big fan of statues more generally as a way of introducing history to people, as Charlotte has just said. If you walk past a statue on your journey to work or school every day, then at one point you'll stop and look at it, and that will spark your imagination, possibly will let you know something that happened or somebody who did something great in your town. So I think they're a great way of teaching history. I'd much rather be erecting statues and tearing them down.
Well, I was going to say, we've only got a minute and a half left on the programme, and honestly, it's such a big subject to launch into, tearing down statues. You've just said you'd rather erect them than tear them down. Charlotte, are there some people whose statues shouldn't be there at all, or should they have a plaque that puts them in context, or should they be put in a museum where, you know, a bit more context? What would you do with some of the more awkward statues?
Statues need to be contextualised. Absolutely no one's perfect. Some people are downright dreadful in the cold, hard lens of history. But we do learn from other people's horrors and other people's mistakes as well as their triumphs. And we need to textualise people quite strongly. A is for Aphra is the campaign for the Aphra statue. And we're restoring someone who's a good, talented person, overwritten by 200 years, and we'd welcome all support.
Do you know, it's really interesting. I was looking at the Christopher Marlowe statue in Canterbury, and it's actually of a woman. It's the muse of poetry. It's not Marlowe at all, is it? So, I mean, I thought it's intriguing.
Oh, well, I will say of that, there is also a lovely campaign group campaigning for an actual statue of Marlowe, and they are fantastic as well. But you're right, the Marlowe statue that exists isn't him. That needs changing as well.
Great to see you both this week. Thank you so much, Damian and Charlotte. Thank you for being on the programme. And that is all we've got time for this week. And also, we're taking a break for the summer, but please do join us. We will be returning to your screens on Sunday, the 12th of September, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for watching.